What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV. Spurs have been beaten 1-0 at the Molineux against Wolverhampton Wanderers thanks to a late goal from Adama Traore. Really puts us in a difficult position when it comes to top fours. A massive opportunity to build a head of steam against some of our top four challengers. Newcastle losing earlier today. Man United playing Liverpool tomorrow. But as is part of the course as being a Tottenham fan, we don't take opportunities. We give them away. We give people opportunities. That's what we do. And we started the day with a very offensive lineup. It looked like I was quite pleased with the lineup in a way. Porro playing on the right, link up with Romero, and no Dyer as well in the team, and we looked quite bright for the opening first half an hour or so. We looked energetic. We looked like we were on the front foot. We were putting Wolves under pressure, but unfortunately we couldn't keep it up. And second half came. Wolves made some changes. We didn't respond to them, and they end up scoring a late goal. It's just so dejecting, and that's our fourth away loss in a row now.
Yeah, I think the disappointing thing was that when they made changes, we had nothing to react towards it. They changed it tactically, and we looked really flat ever since they changed it with the three at the back and the two in the middle. And we just didn't respond to their threat. The warnings were there. Neves had at least 3 shots outside the box to give us a little warning, and we weren't closing that down. And yeah, their energy levels, we couldn't match it. The intensity of Wolves, we just didn't match them, and I think that was the difference for me. There wasn't, when we were on the ball, we were a bit indecisive. There wasn't many options. There wasn't a lot of creativity. There wasn't anything going forward. It's like we ran out of ideas and kind of put our hands up. We just basically did that. And we didn't respond. 60 minutes in, they made changes.
You could see they were gaining momentum. They were gaining energy. You could see that they
like the swing.
Yeah, they in the second half, they started to hound us a lot more like we were doing them in the first half, and we were getting a lot of joy, and we were on top, and then they brought on a lot of energy. They started hounding us a lot, and they started getting on top of us, and we didn't make changes. We just didn't make changes up until the first change we made was Lucas Moura for the last, 15 minutes?
Made no sense, bringing on Lucas, someone that's leaving the club. You'd think you'd bring on a player that's going to be here. Although, albeit, he did come on and create a chance. He actually did do something when he did come on, but needless to say, who knows if we made a different change, if it would have made a difference or not. Regardless, changes were too little too late, and tactically we didn't change it. We didn't do anything different, and we didn't respond to their energy. We were very flat, like I said before, and not many options on or off the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's so dejecting, especially given that I thought we played really well in the first half and we were in the ascendancy. We hit the crossbar. We hit the crossbar twice, actually, once right at the start of the second half and right at the end of the first half. And it looked like we were on top. We were going to go and win the game, or we were going to be the ones looking to win the game. But I just think it's game management, I think, in this instance. I could talk about the players all I want, not being good enough and all that kind of thing. And yeah, we should have been in the lead well before Wolves end up scoring, and especially in the first half, we should have definitely done more of the chances. And Jose Sarr makes a brilliant save from Kulusevski, and Porro hit the bar, and Son hits the bar, and you can blame all those things. But at the end of the day, they made changes and changed formation and added bodies in areas where they were struggling. They ended up. And they switched, the pressing switched up completely when we were the ones pressing high and we were on top of them, and they ended up being the ones swarming over us in the second half. We couldn't beat their press in the end.
Couldn't beat their press at all.
And we waited just way too long to change things up and manage the game. We are very reactive again, very reactive to in making these changes, and it's so frustrating. And again, people want to say we're a first half team or a second half team. I think again we proved it today. We're not a first half or a second half team. We're a 45-minute team. We can only play well for 45 minutes, and that's it. And again, it was case in point yet again today.
For me, it was like a lot of our front three were very deep, very narrow, very easy to mark. And I was constantly screaming out for players to make runs in behind, especially like our fullbacks. I wanted the fullbacks to like run in behind. If the front three are going to drop in deep and play in between the lines, then I want someone to push on and advance. And I wanted the centre-backs to be a lot more aggressive. I wanted Romero to push up. Longley did it in periods. And I wanted to see one of our other centre backs push forward and then give impotence to the front three. But sometimes we got caught in midfield because there was no movement up top, because our front three. Song was super deep. I don't know if you noticed, but Song was so deep today. I really looked at it and I was like, you really are an attacking mid now. You're no longer a left forward winger. And we tried to change it to a 4-4-2, but it was too little too late, in my opinion. And we paid the ultimate price by not creating enough in that second half. I mean, the amount of chances we created in the first half compared to the second, almost night and day.
And I don't understand how. I don't understand how, if we're looking to the future and looking for the long term, why we're bringing players like Lucas. I know he created a chance, but why we're bringing players like Lucas Moura on ahead of Danjuma, or Richarlison as well? Why we're waiting to bring these guys on and bring on people like Lucas Moura first? Why, when we need a goal, where we bring on Emerson Royale on the right? Why are we doing that? I don't understand that substitution. Why we're waiting until the 75th minute to make changes when Wolves are starting to get on top of us, and they're starting to build up a head of steam, build momentum, and we're not doing nothing about it. We're letting it happen, assuming that just because we played well in the first half, we can always get it back, and we never really did. I think they managed the game really poorly, and all the players have to take responsibility for not taking their chances and not capitalising when they're on top and building on that momentum that we had. But at the end of the day, I think today I have to blame the management a lot on how they managed the game, because I do think they let the game come away from us. I think they let it slip away from us, and that was it's hard to take after watching that game. And it's another game. I mean, we pretty much sacrificed the FA Cup on Wednesday for this being one of for today, and we turn up today and we don't win, and that's unforgivable. Now we're in a situation where if we lose on Wednesday, we could be out of the Champions League, and if we're out of the Champions League, then this season is going to really peter out into nothing. Like if we lose on Wednesday. If we don't win on Wednesday, the season's close to being over already. I know we're still in a top 4 battle, but we got top 4 last season.
No improvement at all. So it's a bit flat. I really wanted to see one of the midfielders. We were talking about the double pivot in the first half, and I was like, one's more or less sitting and one's kind of going. And like, if that's the case, or they're taking turns, I wanted to see one of the midfielders push higher up the field to kind of contribute to that attacking, to those attacking positions, because sometimes I feel like there's no pass on because there's not enough players pushing forward. If one of those attacking midfielders if one of the double pivots add to the attacking line and push up, then that might have forced someone like Son to push higher up and jump on the shoulder, because Kane's dropping deep already. We don't need another player dropping in deep, trying to hold up play and drop into that like hole and then do the pass. It's not really Son's game. Like, I would prefer if someone's gonna do that, just have one player doing that, and one of the midfielders. If you're a double pivot, you need to have more attacking returns for me. And yeah, take turns. I don't mind taking turns, but one of you have to assert yourself, especially when you're going for it. And I said to him, look, now's the time when we need to take a risk. We need to go all or nothing. They were taking a risk. They were pushing forward. They wanted it more. And I think in the end, it was a fair result, because they ended up with 1-0.
And 0-0, they were the ones. They were the ones making all the attacking subs at 0-0. We only waited, until we conceded.
Reactive. It's like we're very reactive. Instead, they took the initiative, and we just, they're doing something, but we're still not responding.
We just thought they can make changes and we can just keep it the same, and it would still be fine.
Exactly.
And they gained, and that energy was what changed the game. That fresh energy they brought on. You could see how they were hounding us in that second half.
But what frustrates me, Sim, is he said about the energy. Stellini said that the energy was off. He said that's what he was disappointed about. So if that's the case and you've identified the energy issue, wouldn't you think, common sense, all right, cool, you can see you're on the sidelines, maybe let's make a change because energy's flat. This is how we lost it last time. Last time was 80 minutes, and in 10 minutes we didn't have enough time for it to change. You could see 60 minutes, 70 minutes, something needs to give. And he's done nothing. He's done nothing. He's just literally let the game sink through our hands like quicksand. I'm beyond words. I don't have anything to say. I've got, as Ian Beale says, I've got nothing left.
I've got every ounce of hope and enthusiasm for Tottenham is just being seeped away from me. In terms of the bigger picture, with Newcastle losing, I guess we don't really lose too much ground in the top 4 race, although Liverpool play Man United tomorrow, so we don't know what's going to happen there. We are still 4 points clear of Newcastle with 4 points with them having 2 games in hand. I mean,
we needed a better performance, Sim. Like, I don't really care about the teams around us. I'm more concerned about Spurs' performance. Where is our next performance coming from? Who's a player that's going to stand up? I was saying, what players do you think are going to stand up? Who's going to show and be counted? Where's our big players? Times like this, you need your big players to come out and say, look, don't worry, I've got this. Do you know what I mean? And that literally never happened. For me, Kane was poor all game.
His finishing was off. His touch was, he couldn't get near the ball, really.
His awareness as well. His awareness was poor. Because for me, if your awareness is good, you're not getting clattered into like that. Do you understand? You're going to drift off. You're going to walk in a different direction and they're going to float off. And as soon as you've got the ball, then you're going to come alive. Your first touch is going to be away from the defender, so he's not going to be able to clatter you. Or you're going to touch him so you know where he is, and then you're going to spin him and do him. Sometimes they get tight to you. Sometimes they take 2 yards off you because they don't want to get spun. But that wasn't happening. He wasn't spinning them at all. So it was easy to mark him out the game. And even when he had more space in the second half when they changed formation, the only time I saw him kind of do something is when he kind of dribbled it past 2 or 3 players. We get the free kick. And then guess what? Yeah. Kane takes the free kick. It deflects into Porro. Porro has a better chance.
He had a better shot. Yeah, I don't understand why Porro hit the bar.
He gets to Kane's head. He gets gassed. I'm like, brother, leave it to Porro, bro. Like, I feel like jumping on the TV screen and say, bro, nah, it's not your time.
I can't remember the last time he's actually had a free kick on target.
Oh, bro, it's so frustrating. As soon as I see him over it, I said, nah, I know he's taking it. I know it's a wrap. It's a wrap. KFC, man. It's a wrap, man. Oh, man, it's so annoying. But that for me, like I said, I don't really care about the teams around us. I just want to see a better performance coming into Milan now. And obviously, switch things up today. Do you reckon Son will get dropped for that game? Does it make a difference? I don't think Son played too bad, but I just don't
think he was probably our brightest tackle.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
He hit the bar, he had a few nice shots.
I'm not going to go in on Son, but
it wasn't Son, but it was just the whole, like... I don't think it was even the players. I just think it was I think the managers was just outdone today. I think that was the thing.
I think you're right.
I think we were playing well, and then we didn't take advantage. We didn't take our chances, and then we got outdone tactically. And I think when you don't make changes and you allow the game to get away from you like that, you have to take responsibility, and that's what happened. The game did get away from us. And now we're sitting when we should never have lost that game. We're now sitting at the end of a 1-0 defeat when that should never have happened.
I think our wing backs were a little bit quieter as well. I thought
Perisic was poor again.
I thought we were going to see a lot more from the wing backs, and I thought that was the area I thought might change if we don't see anything from it. Because you were notifying that Perisic wasn't delivering enough crosses in that area in the first half. So I thought maybe they'll do a tact where they might make one of the wing backs a little bit more aggressive and push higher up, because I thought Porro was a little bit deep and wasn't making those runs in behind, or wasn't doing those overlapping runs. Perisic wasn't doing that either. So I thought maybe take Perisic off and then make our right side more aggressive, so at least we've got a runner. We've had no runners, but we've got runners on our bench. I just don't understand. Doesn't compute to me. And then we're just so deep sometimes. I'm like, what? Like too many attacking midfielders. That's what it's like. Attacking midfielders. Even Kulu attacking mid. He didn't have that width that he normally has, and so we weren't able to find any creativity on either side. So it's just super frustrating. That's how I saw it, in my opinion. I don't know.
No, I hear you.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but
I think
I just saw when we were on the ball, it was just like no options, no movement, no like. You look left, you look right, and then before you know it, you're getting tackled. Hoyberg's getting tackled, Skip's getting tackled because there's no movement. They don't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? You want to pass forward, but if no one's making that run and the free are just standing there like that, deep in their half, and they're doing a high line, I thought the whole purpose, if they're pushing a high line, that the space is in behind. No, that's what I thought, because they did the high line. They started pushing up the field a lot more, started condensing that pitch. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a manager. I'm not. I'm just a fan. What do I
I'm
know?
sick of it, man. I'm
It's
just sick of
another
these
poor
performances
performance.
away
It's
from
another
home. Well,
poor
as soon as Spurs, you think Spurs are turning
It's
a
away
corner.
home. Away home as well.
Away from home,
Sorry.
we've gone
Away
four.
from-
It's 4 losses away from home now in a
make it
row
up.
without scoring. So
Just stinking up the place. Delaney and Conte just stinking it up, man. I can't
Look,
even be mad at.
I don't think the pressure could be more now when it comes to Wednesday. It's literally, I feel like it's do or die at the moment. It's like, to keep our season alive, we need to win that game on Wednesday, otherwise the season's pretty
And
much
you know
done.
what? I'm gonna be Mr. Doomsday. I don't even think we're gonna win that game after those performances. 2 bad performances. I can't see our style of play. I don't know where it's coming from. Milan, they'll be watching that game thinking, "Oh, that's how you play them."
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I can't see Milan doing
We
anything
can only
different
play for
from Wolves.
45 minutes. So we
Yeah.
can only play for 45
They're
minutes.
gonna
It's
know that.
frustrating.
Like, yeah, just marshal them for 45 minutes and then like you'll be fine.
Anyway, we'll move on to the post-match fan show.